Good morning, everyone. It's I, Curly K here. It is Lotto Friday, September 5th, and we are going to get right into the free trade idea of the day. So, I'm actually looking at Costco. Costco is really forming in a very nice demand area. On the weekly time frame, I can see that. And then also on the daily time frame, it looks like we're trying to get this continuation up. Also, one thing to make note of is that Costco is going to report earnings towards the end of this month. The exact date is going to be on Thursday, the 25th of September. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, let's go ahead and chart this thing out. So on the weekly time frame, this is where we're going to get our retrigger. So we have our call entry here and we found it on the weekly time frame, so we will label it as such. So call entry off of the week. Now, I'm going to do something that's going to be a little bit thinking out of the box, if you will. So, although we're taking the weekly entry, we're going to look at this for a day trade as well as a swing trade. But I'm going to go from where yesterday's candle closed, and I'm going to get our ATR off of that. So, let's see here. All right, so 969.62. And this is going to be our ATR target if we decide to push up today. And then, of course, since it is a weekly retrigger, potential weekly retrigger, we want to get our weekly ATR as well. All right, let's see what we're working with here. All right. So we're looking at 983.29. Now, this is in the event that I do decide to do a swing trade on this for Costco. All right, perfect. All of that is mapped out well. All right, great. Now we obviously have to get the downside because remember the strat teaches us to be prepared in either direction. So we want to make sure that we do that. And oh, there's even an early entry off of the 4 hour that we're slightly above right now, but I do want to put that on there just in the event that we do decide to pull back and then potentially retrigger that. So let's say put entry off of the 4 hour. And now let's get our magnitude to the downside. So 942.11 is what we're looking at. All right, perfect. So at this point, what we need to do now is map out our targets. So there's our PT1 to the downside. We have to close this gap, that's PT2. And then let's look at the upside. So we do have a 4 hour entry, like I stated before. So we do have that one right there. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to just double check one last thing in reference to the ATR to the upside, since we do have this 4 hour potential retrigger right here. So let's do that. Just double checking the work. All right. So just a few cent off. So 969.55. We're going to adjust that. All right, perfect. So now let's talk about what our strike prices should look like. So for the upside, we're looking at about in the money to 965. So in the money to 965 with an expiration for today. If you decided to swing, you would need a minimum of 2 full weeks out. So I would say in the money to 980 and an expiration of 919. Okay, so in the money to 980 for 919 if you wanted to do that instead of the day trade. And then for the downside, should we decide to trigger puts, we're looking at anything in the money to 945. So anything in the money to 945 to the downside. All right, everyone, if you like these videos and you want to see them continuously pouring in, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share them with a friend or a family member. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at iCurlyK. I hope to see you in baggage claim. Have an amazing day. Bye.